An army of Roman soldiers under the command of Julius Caesar approached the Gaul village with only one mission: to conquer, but unbeknownst to them, the villagers already had a contingency plan. The Gaulish wizard, Getafix, brought forward a magic potion and began administering it to the villagers, giving them superpower. Obelix wanted some potion, but Getafix refused because he fell into the potion when he was a child, but Asterix was given the potion. The Roman soldiers attacked as the Gaulish villagers were ready, as they scattered the Romans' formation and defeated the soldiers, sending them flying in various directions. It all began in 78 BC in Gaul village with the child Obelix walking in the woods. He seemed to be frightened, and just at that moment, Asterix came out from hiding, scaring him further. They were best friends, and Asterix promised to always stand by him and help him deal with his fright. It was peaceful at Gaul village under the leadership of Chief Asterix. The chief spotted a huge smoke coming from Getafix's hut and went to check if everything was all right. Getafix informed the chief that he is working on a magic potion, but the recipe seemed to be lost in time. Getafix feared Julius Caesar's uprising and felt that if he attacks the Gaulish village, the villagers will stand no chance. At school, the students were taught a subject about the big fight, as Obelix seemed to be frightened because of the presentation they were having, but Asterix informed him that he had his back. They both came forward for their presentation on poisonous mushrooms, and in the middle of it, Obelix's fright overwhelmed him and he fainted, but Asterix was able to cover for him, so well that the class gave them a round of applause. Two villagers from the neighboring village brought their son, Cassius Ceramix, to the Gaulish chief to look after, as they will be gone for a while. But their son was full of mischief, and as he spotted Asterix and Obelix, he was delighted as they were his bullied victims. He began bullying them again, especially Obelix, as Asterix tried helping his friend, but he was unable to do so. Cassius then decides to play a game of catch with them, allowing them to run, but if he catches onto them, they will be given a beat down. They began running as Cassius chased them from behind. Asterix suggested they take cover at Getafix's hut, but Obelix was so scared to do that, and Cassius caught up to them. Cassius laughed at them because they were scared of going into Getafix's hut. Asterix insisted that they were not scared of going into the hut, and will be going there tonight, and bring the golden sickle as proof. Cassius then promised that if they could do that, he would leave them alone. At night, Obelix was scared to go into the hut, but Asterix was able to convince him, and they both went in. They started searching for the golden sickle when Obelix got distracted by a potion and went towards it. Using a spoon, he scoops some of the potion and consumes it, but it wasn't tasty, so he added some ingredients to it and accidentally recreated the ancient recipe that Getafix had been trying so hard to recreate. Meanwhile, Cassius informed Getafix that he was having stomach trouble, but it was all a lie. He just wanted Getafix to find Asterix and Obelix in the hurt. Asterix eventually found the golden sickle, but just at that moment, Getafix entered. They both took cover as Obelix climbed a large chain holding the potion. Getafix grabbed some medicine for Cassius and was about to leave, but Obelix couldn't hold on for much longer, so he let go and fell into the magic potion and passed out. Obelix was taken home as everyone surrounded him, thinking he was going to die. But Obelix beat the odds and woke up feeling very hungry. He was served a lot of food, but he consumes them all to the amazement of the villagers. He seemed to be okay and went to play, so Asterix joined him as he throws a snowball at him. Obelix retaliated, but the impact was massive as his snowball crushed several roofs. Obelix began testing his newfound powers as he was able to lift large rocks, and they didn't seem heavy to him at all. Asterix informed Obelix that they should keep his superpowers a secret. They were on their way back when the bully Cassius approached them asking for his golden sickle, so Asterix and Obelix argued amongst themselves whether they should reveal the secret or not. Curious, Cassius demands they reveal the secret, so Obelix punches him, sending him flying. Getafix was behind them and saw everything, so he brought Asterix and Obelix to his hut and asked Obelix what he added to the potion. Obelix revealed he added a giant lobster, so Getafix placed the lobster in the potion. He also added strawberries as revealed by Obelix, and they all hid for the potion to take effect, but it didn't. Getafix asked Obelix if he added anything else, and after thinking for a while, he remembered his four-leaf clover was also added by accident, so they searched for more and Obelix found one. The four-leaf clover was added, and it worked. Obelix wanted a taste, but Getafix refused because he consumed dangerous amounts, and any more might kill him. Getafix took a sip and was able to move his large shelf, but the effect was temporary except for Obelix, because he fell into it. Chief Asterix convinced Getafix to distribute the magic potion to the villagers, and he agreed, but the villagers abused it, as it was used for their daily activities and for show-off. Getafix was angry and spilled the potion, stating that the potion from now on will only be used when the village is in danger. Asterix and Obelix were now grown up, and the time had finally come for the potion to be used as the Roman soldiers approaches. Episode 2 begins in 50 BC. The Roman soldiers were defeated by the indomitable Gauls and had to retreat. Metadata: a Roman girl read a map which entails that the Romans conquered all Gaulish village, but she stated it wasn't true because the village of indomitable Gauls was still standing. They brought forward a mosaic and presented it to Julius Caesar as a gift for his conquest, But Caesar doesn't seem to be impressed with the gift, stating he wanted something which showcased his triumph against all Gaulish village. That's when his mom informed him that one Gaulish village is still standing, so he called for Fast and Furious, who informed him that those indomitable Gauls uses a magic potion and it will be impossible to defeat them. The word impossible got Caesar angry, but Metadata was able to calm him by proposing a way to defeat them using Gaulish laws. According to the law, during a big fight, the chief of a Gaul village challenges the other to a fight, and the winner becomes chief of both villages. She suggested that if one of the Roman chiefs can defeat the Gaul chief, they will take over the village. It was a brilliant idea, and Caesar bought into it as he allows her to join the adventure. Meanwhile, the Gaulish villagers were celebrating their victory, as they were enough for everyone to eat and drink. During the celebration, Obelix was asked to deliver a victory speech to them, and he got stage fright again and was static, so Asterix covered for him and did the speech on his behalf, and the villagers applauded them. Fast and Furious, Metadata, and other Roman reinforcements arrived at the Roman camp only to find the place in ruins due to the defeat they suffered in the hands of the indomitable Gauls. As Fast and Furious was the new general of the soldiers, the previous one opted to leave, but he was stopped by Fast and Furious as he needed all the help he can get in taking down the indomitable Gauls. Meanwhile, the village chief, Vital Statistics, seems to be sick as the druid. Getafix paid him a visit alongside Asterix and Obelix. He seemed to be having an issue with his liver, as he seemed to be very hurt whenever that area is touched. Getafix gave him some medicine with hope that he will get better. Meanwhile, Metadata had begun drafting plans for the big fight. She figured that if the Gaul chief is given a potion, he will have a huge advantage over the Roman chief, so they planned to isolate the druid, Getafix, because without him, there will be no magic potion. Getafix, on the other hand, wanted to go acquire more ingredients for the potion in the forest, as Asterix opted to go with him, but he refused. At that time, some soldiers had disguised themselves ready to ambush and isolate him. Asterix felt Getafix shouldn't be alone in the forest and decided to go after him, taking Obelix along. Getafix had found some 4-leaf clover, and as he was acquiring them, he spots a human foot, and just at that moment, he was ambushed. Asterix and Obelix were in the forest, and as they heard Getafix's voice, they chased after him. Asterix accidentally dropped his potion, so Obelix threw a large pile of rocks, striking Getafix by accident, while the Roman soldiers escaped. Asterix and Obelix argued amongst themselves, and as they moved the rock, Getafix appeared to be out. The soldiers returned and announced that their mission was accomplished as the druid. Getafix was dead, but Metadata wasn't happy as she only wants to isolate him. But Fast and Furious seems to be delighted with the news as he praised his soldiers. So, the plan was to get a powerful chief. Cassius' village was conquered, and they were now Roman subjects as he sought to transform his village to look like Rome. He was on it when Fast and Furious and Metadata paid him a visit. They wanted him to represent the Romans in the big fight, but on hearing that the chief he will be fighting is Vital Statistics, he got scared and refused because of the magic potion Vital Statistics possesses, but Fast and Furious informed him that there will be no magic potion because the druid, Getafix, had been taken out. On hearing this, he was delighted and decided to take part in the big fight. Getafix's medicine had worked as Vital Statistics was back in good health, but he and his wife were shocked to see Asterix and Obelix carrying Getafix, who seemed to be unconscious at the moment. The villagers gathered as Getafix regained consciousness, but all was not well as Getafix seemed to have amnesia and couldn't remember anything or anyone. Asterix sighed as he believed they were doomed. Stay tuned for more episodes of Asterix and Obelix, the big fight on its mythical, and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more mind-blowing recaps like this. Thanks for watching.